What if I told you that your brain is wired to resist discipline? That every time you struggle to stay focused, to wake up early, to push through discomfort, it's not your fault. It's simply how your brain is designed. But here's the good news. Just like a muscle, your brain can be rewired. And today, we're going to explore a method deeply rooted in philosophy that will help you build unshakable discipline, the Lotus Method. Discipline. It's one of the most powerful traits a person can cultivate, yet one of the hardest to maintain. We all know we should do the hard things, study instead of scrolling, exercise instead of sleeping in, work on our goals instead of procrastinating. But knowing isn't enough. The real question is, how do we make discipline effortless? How do we train our minds to crave the hard path instead of avoiding it? The answer lies in a philosophical approach that rewires our thinking at a fundamental level. The Lotus Method. It's a way of conditioning your mind to embrace discipline not as suffering, but as a path to true freedom. And to fully understand it, we need to dive into the wisdom of philosophy, Stoicism, Taoism, and even Buddhist principles, to see how they all interconnect. So, what is the Lotus Method? The lotus flower is one of the most powerful symbols in philosophy and spirituality. It grows in muddy waters, yet rises to the surface untouched by the filth below. This symbolizes the ability to thrive despite chaos and hardship, to remain unshaken by external struggles. The Lotus Method is about embracing discomfort as a natural and necessary process for growth. Instead of resisting difficulty, you learn to see it as nourishment, like the mud that feeds the lotus. This mental shift is what rewires your brain for discipline. Instead of forcing yourself to be disciplined, you become disciplined by aligning yourself with discomfort rather than fighting it. To break it down, the Lotus Method consists of 3 key pillars. 1. Detachment from comfort, accepting that comfort is the enemy of growth. 2. Reframing struggle, seeing hardship as fuel rather than an obstacle. 3. Flow through resistance, moving with discipline instead of against resistance. Let's unpack each of these and how they relate to the ancient philosophies that can help us master them. The first step to rewiring your brain for discipline is understanding that comfort is not your friend. It's an illusion. The more we seek it, the weaker we become. Stoicism teaches this beautifully. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote about the importance of voluntary discomfort. He believed that if you expose yourself to hardship willingly, you strip it of its power over you. Our modern world encourages the opposite. We have endless conveniences, fast food, instant entertainment, and effortless communication. But the easier life becomes, the more we struggle with the simplest challenges. We grow impatient when a video takes a second too long to load. We abandon goals at the first sign of difficulty. The key to reversing this is to detach from comfort, not entirely, but enough that we reclaim control over our impulses. Imagine training yourself to embrace small discomforts, waking up early without hitting snooze, resisting the urge to check your phone every 5 minutes, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. These small actions teach your mind that comfort isn't necessary for happiness. And over time, discipline becomes second nature rather than a battle. But detachment from comfort is not just about physical discipline. It's also about mental and emotional discipline. It means being okay with boredom, embracing solitude instead of constant stimulation, and learning to be present in the moment, rather than always seeking the next distraction. When you train yourself to find peace in discomfort, you develop an inner strength that makes external struggles feel insignificant. Now that we've detached from comfort, we need to change how we see struggle. Most people view hard things as burdens. But what if struggle was actually the best thing that could happen to you? In Buddhism, suffering is seen as an inevitable part of life, but not as something to be avoided. Instead, it's something to be understood and embraced. The same principle applies to discipline. Every challenge, every difficulty is an opportunity to grow. If you resist struggle, it will break you. But if you accept it, it strengthens you. This idea is echoed in the ancient philosophy of Taoism, specifically in the concept of Wu Wei, which means effortless action. The idea isn't that life is easy, but that we suffer more when we resist what is natural. Think about swimming against a strong current. It exhausts you, and you get nowhere. But if you learn to move with the current, you still reach your destination, just with less resistance. Struggle is part of life. The way forward isn't to eliminate it, but to learn how to work with it. When you accept that struggle isn't a punishment, but a necessary step, discipline becomes something you welcome, not something you endure. More importantly, reframing struggle means changing your relationship with failure. Many people avoid hard things because they fear failure. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. The greatest philosophers, inventors, and warriors of history all embraced failure as a necessary part of their journey. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, constantly reminded himself that obstacles were simply the way forward. If you stop seeing struggle as a reason to quit and start seeing it as a sign of progress, you will begin to thrive in discomfort. The final step is learning how to move through resistance rather than against it. Most people try to fight resistance with willpower, but willpower is a finite resource. A better approach is to cultivate an identity where discipline is just a part of who you are. Consider the philosophy of identity-based habits, an idea echoed in both Stoicism and modern psychology. Instead of saying, "I need to be more disciplined," shift your identity to, "I am a disciplined person." Your actions will always align with the person you believe yourself to be. This is why ancient Stoics practiced daily reflection, asking themselves whether their actions aligned with the person they wish to become. If you want to flow through resistance, start by seeing yourself as the kind of person who moves forward, no matter what. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is the moment you decide it is. Another way to move through resistance is to eliminate unnecessary friction. If you want to write more, make your environment distraction-free. If you want to exercise regularly, set your clothes out the night before. When you make discipline easy to access, resistance fades, and consistency becomes automatic. At the end of the day, discipline isn't about punishment, it's about freedom. The freedom to do what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. And that freedom is built by rewiring your mind, shifting your perspective, and embracing the philosophy of the Lotus Method. So the question is, will you choose to be the lotus?